Bloody hell. If we carry on doing this, we're going to end up finishing top half of the table. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the School of Science. My name is Luke and this is the post-match reaction for Crystal Palace versus Everton. Crystal Palace 1, Everton 2. Now before we kick things off, I just want to say a massive thank you to the guys over at the Bramley-Moore pub for giving me the opportunity to advertise some of their amazing merchandise. Now if you guys are going over to the new stadium and you want something that's, you know, fitting for not just Everton but also with the new stadium, the new beginnings and all stuff like that, if you go over to the Bramley-Moore pub, they are doing some lovely stuff. So this is an example. This is one of their nice little scarves. Now bear in mind, they don't just advertise themselves. They also do, it is also Everton and Bramley-Moore. So it's a nice little combo of both of them. So as you can see here, Everton and Bramley-Moore. And also, it's not a cheap piece of equipment. This is really well made, lovely and warm. I kid you not, I go into Goodson Park, I'm in the Lower Gladys where I am subject to some really cold conditions. And this scarf is absolutely top notch. It is a very high quality scarf, so I will literally have this around me, keeping me nice and warm. And as I said, it's very well made. It's a nice, durable scarf. Like, I kid you not, I am putting a lot of weight behind this. And it doesn't deform, it doesn't strain, it doesn't fray. Everything about this is just top quality equipment. So, not only that, they also have beanies, they've got hoodies, they've got shirts, they've got clocks, they've got coasters as well. I was actually surprised by this one. I went in there the other day and they mentioned the coasters and I went, wait, you guys got coasters? I went, oh yeah, that's over here. They've got literally 7 different types of coasters featuring Everton legends, past and present. So, if you want any of this sort of merchandise, go down to the Bramley-Moore pub. And while you're there, why not grab a pint if you are over 18 and remember to drink responsibly? I will say that right now. I am not taking the blame for anyone basically going in there who's under 18 saying, oh yeah, Luke says he can get me a pint. No. Over 18, drink responsibly and don't drink and drive as well. But yeah. So yeah, get a nice little pint and all that. Have a look at the nice new stadium. And if you're going on Monday as well, there's a good chance I'll be in there with my granddad. So if you see me, don't forget to say hi. I do appreciate people who actually watch the channel and come see me, you know. I mean, if you put up with me over here, you can put up with me in person. But anyway, onwards with the show. So, going into this game, I was thinking a draw was going to be the most reasonable result, in all honesty. Because we just come out a very, very tough game against Liverpool. We've also lost... Pardon me, I was about to sneeze then. We've just lost Iliman Ndiaye and Abdoulaye Doucouré. So Iliman Ndiaye, we don't know when he's going to be coming back. We think it could be a couple of months. Yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow. Because he's been by far one of our best players. And Doucouré, so he's gone for 1 game, so he will be back for the Man U game. And to be honest though, that gives us an interesting little conundrum. What do we do with Alcaraz? Because he's been an absolute little gem. Do we put him on the left where Ndiaye was? Or do we put him in the centre? Do we say to Doucouré, look mate, Alcaraz is doing a good job at the moment. Do you want to just chill on the bench for a bit? You know, get some fitness back? So yeah. But yeah, going into this game though, we did look fatigued. We looked tired. The first, say, 15 to 30 minutes, we definitely looked like the team that has just done a few laps around the park. And to be honest, Crystal Palace tried to capitalise on that, very much so. So within the first 20-25 minutes, they did actually get a goal, but it was disallowed just for the fact that... so what had happened is the corner had come in, and according to the referee and the linesman, the ball had went out before it came in. Now bear in mind, this is a high-flying ball before it came in. And it was a decent goal as well. And when they went over to VAR to check it, due to the restrictions of the technology inside the stadium, as well as the restrictions of the technology at the Premier League, the goal could not stand, just for the fact that VAR could not confirm or deny the goal. They basically said, look, due to our technology, we suspect that it went out, but we cannot confirm it. So that goal got scratched. And to be honest though, that is a terrible shame. If the shoe was on the other foot, I would be absolutely seething because of that. Because they could not confirm or deny it. they've basically went on with the on-field decision and said, actually, nah, it's not a goal. So that was that. That was the wake-up call, though, for Everton, because after that, we started surging forward. So what happened is throw-in come in. Alcaraz managed to get a hold of the ball, push upfield. Beto was just a bit ahead of him. And then from there, managed to get past, basically got a nice thread to pass through to Beto. Beto came on one-on-one with the keeper, put it in, nice, controlled, beautiful goal. So Beto is now on 6 goals now, if I'm not mistaken, for the season. And considering that we were going to either loan him out or sell him in the January window, he's just become one of our best strikers for the time being. Now, don't get me wrong, when Chimiti comes back and Calvert-Lewin, the 3 of them are going to have to duke it out for that position, and it'll be interesting to see who comes out on top, because I don't think we've seen the best of Chimiti yet by a long shot. The guy's got a lot of pace about him. He's very creative. He reminds me of a Calvert-Lewin with competency at the feet. So it's going to be extremely interesting to see what happens in the course of the near future when Chimiti comes back. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Dom as well, because do we keep him? Do we sell him? I mean, bear in mind, well, not sell him, because he's coming up to the end of his contract now, and he keeps going on saying that he wants more out of the contract. Now, bear in mind, the original contract we did give him, it was going to be 120 grand a week. He was going to be our highest paying player, and he didn't want to sign that. He's not really stated any reasons. He's just said he's not going to sign it right now. But, you know what? If he moves on, he moves on. It would be a shame because he's done so much with the club, but I would wish him all the best. But this isn't the Dominic Calvert-Lewin pity talk. This is a post-match reaction. So let's get back to the post-match reaction, shall we? Right, so we were 1-0 up, and then pretty much over the rest of that first half, it was quite literally just end-to-end stuff. Mateta was having goes at it. Beto was having goes at it. Lindstrom was having goes at it. He had a shot blocked. Lindstrom did really well on that wing. I kid you not, the dudes must have afterburners in his cars, because he really did pick up that pace. You're watching him run down that wing, and then all of a sudden he gets a little burst of pace, getting just a little bit faster to get to that ball, and he's coming along leaps and bounds. Now, this might be controversial, but Jack Harrison on that left wing today, I honestly don't know. I'm very 6 of one, half a dozen the other with him, because there was moments where he was doing really well, but there was also moments where he was having a full-on amateur hour. Like, there was a couple of moments there where he was trying to beat players, and great, he was trying to beat players. That's what we want to see our footballers doing, beat players. But he was doing it in the worst possible way. He was basically hard up on that left wing, and he was pretty much trying to beat them. And in some situations, he was getting blocked out. Other situations, the ball was going out. I mean, I looked at Mikalenko. Mikalenko looked like he was getting frustrated with it. I think there was a moment where they were actually close to one of the microphones, and you can hear him literally screaming. I'm going, Jack, as if to say, sort it out, lad. But I'll be honest, overall, he had a reasonably decent game. He didn't have a bad game, but he didn't have an amazing game. So yeah, so end of the first half, played reasonably solid, 1-0 up. Could not complain at all, but Crystal Palace was still very much threatening. And then in the second half, they came out of them gates ready for it. They wanted blood immediately, and they wasted no time in it. So pretty much, first point of attack, tried to add it at the goal, ends up getting a corner, wasn't it? Yeah. No? Yes? No? Regardless, they had a shot. They scored, and it was mostly down to Everton's defence in that one. It was a mistake by, I'm not going to say Jacob Bryan, because he was roughly in his right position. He was pretty much as a right centre-back in that area trying to get to the ball. But also you had Tarkowski at his back. Why he was doing this, I have no idea. Because Tarkowski should have been in the middle, where Guy was. And for some reason he decided to try and assist Jacob Bryan. Now, don't get me wrong, that's good. But make sure someone else is marking your player. Because if you lose your player and he ends up getting an assist, that's down to you, mate. So the play-by-play was quite literally, ball come up, Jacob Bryan trying to get the ball. Tarkowski was right behind him and tried to get on his shoulders to get the ball as well. And from there, that little kerfuffle, the ball ends up becoming loose, falling to Gahi, who put it through then to Mateta and put it right into the net. So in that one, I would probably put the blame on Tarkowski. I'm sorry, mate, but you've got to take the rap for that one. You did great in the derby, but that was just, nah. You can't be doing that, mate. So yeah, so they were 1-1, and from there they'd just gotten themselves a nice little second wing. Now bear in mind, they actually did 2 subs at half-time as well. So Chilwell came on, and so did Eze. So I kid you not, Eze is always a living nightmare of mine. The guy is just so good with the ball at his feet. He's very much what Iliman Ndiaye is to us. He's their creative outlet. The only problem is he's that light on his feet. A stiff breeze forces him to go down. But yeah, so over the course of that second half, again, very similar to what it was like in the first, our fatigue was starting to slowly seep in, and we were starting to slowly struggle. But we were still pushing at them. We were hammering them as much as we could. Any opportunity we had, we went straight at them. It was very direct football, and it was good direct football as well. And I will admit, when it came to some of the refereeing decisions, I will hold my hands up and say that we actually had the run of the green on a couple of occasions, because Andy Taylor, normally I hate the absolute guts of him, but he actually gave us the run of the green in a couple of occasions there, where I thought, okay, they might roll this one back for a foul that we've done, but no, he's like that, okay, play on, carry on, and we were able to move on with the ball. And there was also situations where it wasn't really a foul, but he turned it back and he said, no, that's actually a foul in our favour. And it was nice to see. Normally we're the ones at the end of this, so a little bit of refereeing bias towards us. Hey, you know what? I won't say no to it. It's a nice feeling to have a little bit of it. I don't want it to be a blatant thing, but the occasional one here and there, I'm not going to complain about it, honestly. So yeah, so as the game went on, we started making a few changes here and there. So Lindstrom came off, and what was his name? Ashley Young came on. So they had him on as a right winger. So technically right wing back, but he was operating as a right winger. And to be honest, he had a fairly decent one. He kept the ball up well, holding the ball up, getting a little bit of distribution going. So good on him. For a guy who's knocking on middle age, he's doing well. And who was the other one? Irabinum came on for Alcaraz, but that was after he scored, so we'll talk about that one in a minute. Okay, so one of the motions to play, we come up the line, pretty much on the byline. Jacob Bryan managed to get a header, and the header pretty much came forward, came off the Palace player's hand. Now, I think if the ball would have went out, they would have rolled it back and it would have been a penalty. But thankfully, the ball basically bounced off. One of their lads got it. Basically kicked the ball into... No, it wasn't even kick the ball. He chested the ball into... Sorry, let me rewind all this. It's swirling around in my head. I'm sorry, this has been a mad day for me. Okay, so Jacob Bryan got the ball, headed it, came off the hand of one of the Crystal Palace players, and then came to Ashley Young. Ashley Young had a crack at the ball, went straight into one of the other Crystal Palace players. So it was the blonde lad who absolutely annoys the hell out of me because of his name. Every time he had the ball, the Crystal Palace fans were screaming his name. I can't even remember his name because even though it annoyed me, basically came off him. But the way he had it is basically hands inside, and it came off the centre mass of his chest. Looked like a handball again. And then Alcaraz got the ball, hit it nice and sweet. But he hit it nice and sweet in a low way, weirdly enough. He basically got it and hit it with force and control and just skids it across the floor past Henderson and got us into a 2-1. So from there, basically this is his first start for us. That was his first assist and his first goal. He's really doing well for us, Alcaraz. I do think if this continues for the rest of the season, I genuinely do think we should turn around and say, you know what, Flamingo, we're keeping him. We want him because he has proven to be a really good player. And I do think if we were to ever experiment and say go for a double 10 system with a fully fit squad, I think Iliman Ndiaye and him together near the centre of the park, or having them as false wingers. Oof, I am going to love that, because I do know for a fact Iliman Ndiaye and him, we're cut from the same cloth. They have a very similar sort of play style with each other. But time will tell. Iliman Ndiaye, he may potentially be out until April, from what I've been told, but it could be sooner. We just need to find out what the results of the scan are. It is a medial cruciate ligament injury. Now, normally when you get one of these injuries, it's because you've done your ACL. So what happens 9 times out of 10, when someone does their ACL, their medial cruciate ligament goes with it. Now, bear in mind, this is literally it's a ligament that connects your knee to your shin to your thigh. That's how it's literally put. I've had a little look into it because I was curious about it. So if he's injured that badly, he's basically going to have to rest it and let it heal up. And I hope that's not the case, because if it's badly injured, then we're talking quite easily April to even May. So we might end up seeing him for the Southampton game, which I don't want that to be the case. I want him to be back for the Merseyside derby, because I do think he's got some payback to that turf that he kicked. But yeah, so near the end of the game, so we had, I think it was 4 minutes at a time. And you know what? The players did well. They really did dig deep. So I do think this week's rest is going to be massively appreciated by them, because they've just done, well, we'll say, nearly 200 minutes of 200 minutes of football over the course of a single week. So from Wednesday through to Saturday, you're talking 200 minutes of football. That's about 4 hours worth of football. That's a lot of football. But yeah, they did dig in deep. They did well. Pickford, nice and solid. Mikalenko was doing well on that left side. Jake O'Brien had a nice little one. His physicality's shown really well. He's a nice, solid player. And as Dan had said on the Toffee Bluecast with us this evening, it's weird to see, because the dude's 6'6". I mean, he's basically, if he was standing next to me right now, the top of his head would be above this camera. It'd be about here. He's a 6'6" lad, decent build, and it's weird seeing these tall guys with the ball at their feet, because they look like the Bambi on ice. They don't look like they're very stable with the ball at their feet. But like Yerry Mina that we had prior to him, that is very deceptive, because they have definitely got that ball under control. And if you try and take advantage of any sort of lankiness or, unsureness looking from them, they're going to make you look like an idiot. You'll think, okay, he doesn't look like he's very steady on his feet. Let's go for it. And you'll basically be behind him and he'll be gone. He'll have just left you in the dust with the ball. But yeah, in regards to the midfield, Idrissa Gueye, nice and solid as always. Irabena, when he came on, he had a decent little game as well. He did definitely try and move that ball around the park. I'm starting to see the Irabena that I remember early on. He loved to get around that park, operating as a number 8. He did really well doing that. As I said, he replaced Alcaraz, so James Garner came in at the number 10. Then Irabena came into the number 8, because as we know, Irabena's got a defensive mindset when it comes to his style of play. So he operates as a number 8/number 6. So you've essentially, in situations where we're in possession, he'll go from box to box. When we're out of possession, he almost becomes a secondary number 6, and he'll bolster up the defensive line. So happy that we've got these kinds of hybrid players. But yeah, he was nice and solid. James Garner, another one, nice and solid, getting around the park. Disappointing that he got a yellow card, but to be honest, it was coming. A few of the tackles he did, he was quite hefty with them. In regards to Harrison, he had a decent game, but I do think he's a far cry from the Jack Harrison we've seen at Leeds when he operates on the left wing. But I think given time, he's going to come right. Alcaraz, absolutely solid player today. Could not fault him. He got himself around the park, beat players. He loved to take on the players heads on. This is why I put a lot of similarities between him and Ndai. He's not afraid to basically keep the ball with him and move at players and go for them and try and beat them. So, long may that continue. Jesper Lindstrom, he had a decent game as well. Really got moving up that park. Like I said, he was very close to actually offering an assist. I'm surprised really, because someone actually brought a little fact up to me. So he's been involved in a lot of major chances, but he's not racked a single assist or a single goal so far this season, which is a terrible shame, because he's a very promising player. I think with a bit more time, I want to say a bit more time, but I think once he finds his stride and his understanding of where he sits in the squad, the goals will come. But yeah, outside of that, Beto, can't complain. He's getting into his stride. He is really coming into his stride. To think we were going to sell him mid-season. What the hell were we thinking back then? The more time he gets in this squad, the better he becomes, or the better he becomes. I do genuinely think the longer we have him, the better he's going to get. And I do honestly think he could potentially be one of our more permanent ones in the future. Now, don't get me wrong, he might leave this coming summer. He might say, look, I really appreciate the chances you guys have given me, but the Premier League is not my forte. I want to go back to Ligue 1. I want to go and try my hands at the Bundesliga. I want to go to La Liga. I want to go to the Portuguese league. I want to try Serie A. He might turn around and say he wants to try something different. And you know what? If he did that, I wouldn't be mad. I honestly wouldn't be mad. I would say, look, mate, you've come along leaps and strides under Moyes. It's a shame to see you go, but I wish you nothing but the best. Because he is a great guy. He is a really good player. And I do hope he stays with us for a long time. Because I think the longer we've got him, the more improving he's going to do. But yeah, guys, overall, can't complain. 3 more points in the bag. We are now above Spurs and Manchester United at the time of this video, which is the 15th of February. And it is now currently 9:50 p.m. It is late. I've got football at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, so I am going to have to get some rest soon. But yeah, overall, we're up the table now. We're 13th in the table. We are literally just below Crystal Palace on 1 goal difference. So it depends on what the result is tomorrow between Man U and Tottenham. If that's a draw, I do think we potentially might stay in our spot, or we may fall down 1. Don't quote me on that one. I don't know what Man U's goal difference is at the moment. But I do think at this point in time, we're in a very comfortable position right now. We are no longer in a relegation threat, I personally say. Based on our current performance and how we've been going so far, relegation shouldn't even be a topic for Everton anymore. I think, genuinely, if this performance that we're doing right now continues, we keep getting the results we're getting. So let's say, for argument's sake, so we have, in our last 5 games, we've got 4 wins and a draw. Let's say, since Moyes started, 1 loss, 1 draw, 3 wins. So there's 10 points there. The next 5 games, we get another 10 points. That's it. We keep going at the momentum we're doing right now. We've got 13 more games left. So if we get 10 points there, and let's say 2 draws and a loss in our last 3 games, I don't expect that to happen in all honesty, but this is all hypothetical, by the way. 2 draws and a loss, so an extra 2 points on top of that. Then we're beyond safe. We're easily, I'd probably say around 12th, 13th. We're in and around that marker, and we're pushing for the top end of the table. Now, bear in mind, when I started this out, so the very first game of the season, before the first game of the season even kicked off, I said I would be happy with 12th. So I'm going to stick to that. If we get 12th, I will be very happy with that, as long as we build on it. Because this coming season is going to be very, very important with us. We're going into a brand new stadium, so for the first 5 to 6 games, it's going to be a very alien environment for the home team. It's going to be just as alien of an environment as it is going to be for the away team. Now, bear in mind, the away team don't have very many luxuries in the new stadium. I have seen in there, they have literally got a square room with crappy padding inside on them seats. In all honesty, that's too good for them. I think they should have done it with a bench park design. So basically where your benches sort of sit, instead of sitting like that, they sit like that. And you're having to basically tense your muscles to stay on that seat. You have to force yourself up. We should have done something like that with a slight slope, just enough. I think that sort of psychological shithousery would have been hilarious. Because let's be honest, other teams are definitely doing it. But in any case, guys, I have wasted enough of your time this evening. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this weekend, because it is always a great weekend when we win. So anyway, guys, again, you know what to do if you have liked this video. Like it. If you want to suggest anything to me, so put it in the comments below. And please share it with your friends, your family. Share this video around. Any fellow toffees that you think might benefit from these sorts of videos, give it over to them. Send it over to them, whether it be via WhatsApp, Facebook, X, wherever. Hell, if you want to write down the entire URL that's above me right now, do so. Send it by carrier pigeon. But in any case, guys, again, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my weekend because Everton have just fucking won. Take care, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and peace, and up the fucking toffees.